For some reason, like anything, all information, it's basically downloaded. And when it hangs around, normally it's because it won't go away and it's shared. So who knows? The story about the global, it shares everything. So you're aware of why, what, what the issues are. And it's either from lower consciousness because either the solution is not available because of the frequency and vibration and lower consciousness, so they keep repeating the same pattern and can't see the logic, or there's another thing that was addressed here, the issues with the corporation structures, the structure of, and why, it's all a reflect, the structures of corporations and corporation law, and how they're used to, they've been misused, let's put it this way. So the global water thing here is so simple. As I'm saying, this is all ties together. It's very, very simple. And the technology is available already on the planet, actually. But many have developed this technology, and Britain's just developed it on a mass scale. So it's not like it hasn't been developed, but it's been patented. Those that have vested interest in, profiting from the shortage, creating a shortage, and then, as I say, profiting from that. Because, like same with everything, now we can put the price up, you see, but there's no, let's say, thing or consciousness to make the solution for everybody and the planet. So this solution benefits the planet and will replenish the water supplies, the underground reservoirs, underground water, underground lakes, which are being tapped out from boreholes and things like that, rivers to replenish. And, the rivers were much bigger than they are now, much, much bigger. So the rivers can regain their size, and be clean again, and so we can leave nature, let's put it this way. This solution allows nature to be left alone, so no land water to be touched, basically. So it can build up again. So the rivers can build up in size, the water quantity, underground, reservoirs can be filled up, and where the boreholes. And nature can restore itself and clean, and the dams can refill, all these dams and things like that, and lakes can fill up and whatever. So this is that's what I'm saying. There's a one solution, because there's no excuse to say there's a problem then, because this way there's no problem anymore at all. We are living on a planet, which is, it's what I say. It's a deliberate, let's say, it's a consciousness issue, there's another problem. It's a solution is simple. So we're on a planet, 70% water. It's a water planet, but it is salt water, so it's not drinkable. Well, but there's been technology developed a long time ago to desalinate on a mass scale, like you have your nuclear plants on a big scale. You already have your pipes and everything in place. Everybody, the ones that are inland, can be piped through to that, like you have your oil pipes everywhere, quite happily. So this is now leaving all land water, not to touch, don't take any water basically from the rivers and everything else anymore, being pumped in all the lakes and things. Leave them alone so they can recuperate. Land water can build up and clean itself. They're going to clean that up and let it, restore. But to use purely the oceans. Why? First of all, the oceans, as everyone knows, the ice, because it's just a phase the planet's going through. It's a cleanse, a recycle, replenish. So she melts the ice because of all the nutrients in it. The ice has got nutrients trapped from thousands of years in there. Now this will replenish the plankton and the krill in the oceans. That's the point of it. So then the fish and the whales have food again. So this is why there's a freeze and melt cycle. So the planet is doing this. It's her way of cleansing and recycling. Also, some of this stuff is coming into the ocean. So the oceans are being replenished with food, with nutrients and things from volcanoes, from rivers, from whatever. And the ice, mainly, right? This is what she's doing. So you, humans, or someone that believes they're a separate human, can't interfere or control that. All right, this is happening for a reason. Good reason. It's her way of looking after herself and life on her planet, let's say in the story, okay? So the planet's doing that. Simple as that. Everybody knows the sea levels will rise. So here you're moaning, they're making a crisis. Oh my gosh, we're going to have rising sea levels, all these problems, right? And we got no fresh water. Well, we can charge you more now. You must stop drinking water. What are we going to do for crops? All the nonsense. This is ego, the mind. All its stories and its programs are going over. So this could be a lower consciousness because it can't see out the box then. It's so in the mind, you see. So we're living on a planet made of 70% water. We have no shortage. We have technology, plenty of it, and patents, lots of it. This is where the thing is. It is the incentive to stop those patents, to remove those patents, because it shouldn't be patented. A few companies are shelving things so they can profit from a shortage, which is affecting all creatures on the earth and planet and everything. There will be no shortage then for crops. You can grow till your cows come home, water your gardens. You are complaining that sea levels are going to rise already. Now you are going to counteract that by purely using desalination for all water consumption on the planet, for your agriculture, for your food, your cooking, your toilets, whatever. That's it. Switch over to complete desalination. All the technologies out there, the governments can't say they haven't got it. They have it. Many have developed it. They are very capable of doing it on a mass scale. But as we've privatized everything, it doesn't suit certain people that sort of saying hiding behind names of a piece of paper, calling it a company, but hiding behind them. It's a company. And there's someone managing it. So, we just pretend we have nothing to do with it. You see, there's accountability here, avoidance of accountability. Where you allow fake entities, corporations, are now classed, which they are fake entities. We'll get into that whole story about corporations. Corporations don't exist. There's no such thing as a company. It's a fake entity, a person. It's given the same laws and rights as a person, a fake entity too, on the planet. So you have got these so-called, then we can hide behind a company. Oh, there's a company. There's no actual company there. No company exists. There's no such person as a company, a real physical thing walking around. There's a piece of paper. It's all law. Piece of paper with a name on it, and we own this, but we have nothing to, it's not our fault, and we take all the money out of it, but it's the employees or the manager's problem, or the share, or we'll fire the director or the chairman, was him. And we will sit back and we'll just claim, it's a problem. This is what I'm saying. You need to change this structure, which will change automatically, because as the ego, the fake entity, is being exposed, as you can see. This is why corporations are so much being in the mind thing, because they're being exposed. It's a fake. It's a representation of a fake entity, where, this is what I'm saying, the mind is just doing its own thing at the benefit of itself, not the greater good, not the all. You see, it's me, myself, I. And you see the reflection. Companies reflect the ego. Selfish. All about me, myself, I, what profit I can take. I'm hiding behind this illusionary person, and so I can do what I want free of conscience. Oh, well, I didn't actually do it. Although I'm getting my shares and stocks, restock buybacks and getting my shares, but I didn't actually do anything. You see, we can just this is the thing. So we've got a few people hiding behind fake entities, which are corporations on a piece of paper, a company. And we've got patents people allowed because we have money. This whole corporation story needs to come down, which will. This fake entities. It allows people to misuse, to hide behind there and not claim responsibility for their actions and their pollution and their behavior and their profiteering. And to take patents, which now, as I say, there's no excuse. There is no shortage of fresh drinking water anywhere. You have an entire ocean which is going to rise. And this is why we are making a big noise about it. Oh my gosh, climate change, we're going to flood and we're going to be underwater. There we are. Now you won't be underwater. You have how many millions, so-called millions in the story? Millions of people on the planet, billions. Now, all of them using desalinated water, which is instant now, and it's used to be 70-30. The new technology is much better than that. So you can desalinate almost with no waste. There you've also got free salt. No shortage of sea salt. You see, now there's no more mining. You see, that's what I'm saying. People will not... There's no excuse. There's no shortage of water. It's that a few hiding behind fake entities, it's not in their interest, because you've made fake entities the priority on the planet. And pretending there's no people, pretending the people aren't there, the real bodies don't exist. No, they have no say, no one's interested. All your laws, everything in your government revolves around fake entities. Names of companies or corporations where people, real bodies, are hiding behind. And then we can't do anything. It's just, oh dear, whatever. So here you are. There is no excuse at all. You can combat your rising sea levels with complete desalination. Yes, everybody is. You are. There's only one here. There's no you. The same one talking through this body is the same one talking to that body. So, here you have now the actual technology there. It's been created. It's on the planet. Look at the patents. AI. You've got AI now. No excuse. AI will find it very quickly. Many of them. And you've got all DARPA and all these agencies that are very apt at, or MIT, that can quickly switch. But to remove these patents for things that benefit the entire planet and humanity and nature. So with now global desalination, using the same water distribution systems completely, you have no shortage of water whatsoever to supply all your agricultural needs, all your domestic needs, and you can leave the actual land water alone completely for the rivers to, when it rains, let nature rebalance or refill the rivers and the dams and the lakes. It will restore. So will your aquifers. Now you want companies, we got a shortage and let's drill and let's mine. There's no mining for salt needed either. There's no mining needed here whatsoever. You put these things on your oceans, and the countries inland, you pipe it like you do with everything else underwater, no problem. Technology, you've got your internet, you've got your cables, you've got your oil and gas going under the oceans already. So we use completely salt water. There's absolutely the technology out there. It's the world. Why isn't it done? You see, this is where we've got to change. So you can see the links of the corporations, of fake entities, which are being exposed. That's why they're so much in the collective consciousness, and they're being exposed for their behavior, because they are fake entities. We're allowing bodies, real people, to hide behind them. You see. And then it's just, we didn't do anything and it's whatever. So this will change the problem. Then you will not have people using companies, you see, to benefit, themselves at the cost of everybody and the planet. So you need to change your corporation and your laws. Stop this fake entity story where companies, which don't exist, pieces of paper, have the same rights as a living man or body, living humans, you see, living beings. You are allowing a piece of paper you have given, that's what they have done. You have given them a right. You see, and you understand the reflection of the ego, which the ego is being exposed now, and the ego is being dissolved. So will this, you see, they come together. Everything's a reflection at this level. So the corporations reflect the fake entity, the ego. It's greed, it's selfishness. This is what it does. It's all about me, myself, I, my shareholders, my profit, my stock buybacks, my. At the expense of everybody else. And I'm going to patent that and lock it away. So the planet can't get it because I will have no profit. If they use this patent, my business, you see, my business will go out of business. I will lose money. But if there's no fake entities, you see, there's no people hiding behind them, claiming all the profit but no responsibility. And you won't have this plundering and looting then, because they can't say it's the director, the shareholder, the chairman, the no. They have to be, it's them. So there's no fake companies on a piece of paper. We, Mr. Jones, Peter, John, Paul, and Mary, it's our business. No fake company, it's our business. We are responsible for our business. And we're not putting our business above the rest of the world, which we live on a planet and water and every other being, you see. You can see the reflection now of the ego. Ego is all about me, myself, I. So here we are. It's here. The technology is available now on the planet. They will make it because they're going to have these rising sea levels if they like it or not. So the sea is going to rise. Now you are going to help yourselves. So You can grow as much as you want. You can green the deserts. There's no shortage of seawater. 70%. You're not going to get it short in a hurry. You're going to give then the rivers and planets and aquifers and under they're actually lakes underground from all the boreholes. They will all replenish. You can do it for 50 years or 100 years at least. You can use purely seawater. Desalination. Then your byproduct, if there's any, because the technology has improved so much, is salt. There's your natural sea salt extraction, saves you from now having to go mine and salt. You see, this is what I'm saying. You understand? This is now the ego, as it's dissolving, you'll see. It's a time to put away your fake entities and your corporations. You see, and it's the planet and everybody, the actual beings that need to eat and things. It's not a fake piece of paper with a name on it and it's on a stock market. These are real people. They're going to need it. Everyone is affected. Everything on this planet is, is needing water and food and things like this. It's not we're going to keep it at a shortage so we can profit while there's an issue. There is no issue. It's a fault, is what I'm saying. It's a created problem. There is no problem. There is no shortage of water. When you're living on a water planet, you can go to the moon and Mars, you're sure, and you already have the technology to use massively effective instant desalination on a mass scale. That technology is available. So there we are. That was the one that came through. Is that the technology is absolutely out there. And it now sorts all your problems out because there's no shortage of water to use for anything you want on the planet. And you will not be touching any rivers and dams, any fresh water on the planet. It will be left alone to recuperate and fix the rivers and let the ecosystems and natural things to clean up, the grasses to grow back. Leave the streams completely. No sewage to go into it. No chemicals to go into it. Nothing to be treated. The fresh water is to be left alone without chemicals, sewage treatment going in it whatsoever. So all your water now comes from the ocean, and your byproduct, if there's even 1% salt, 90%, it's probably 99 now, the technology is really good, is mainly going to be that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. It will go because this is what it is. It's a Maya. It represents the ego, which is dissolving. As you see, there's always as the reflection changes. So this is why they're being exposed so much in the limelight, because it is a fake entity, as the ego is, pretending it's a separate being and it's all about itself, which is only lots of thoughts in our mind. There's no separate ego. There's no separate being or separate ego, separate anything here, separate person. It doesn't exist. You cannot separate yourself from your environment, from your planet, from anything. Pull yourself out now and tell me where you are. Pull yourself off the world. Good luck with that and being away. So there's you cannot escape your own consciousness. You are in it. This entire reality is you. You can't get out of the reality. The world, the planet is you, is yourself. Everything is the one. You cannot separate yourself from anything here. You can run around as much as you want in circles. You're not going to go far. Discovered that. Anyway. So there's your thing, desalination, and your issue with what the problem is, as I say, with the corporations. It's just that they're being used. People are hiding behind them, as the ego is, you see. It's all about me, myself, I. I'm a sacred person. I want this. But it's dissolving. It's crumbling. And this is why the reflection, it gets exposed on the outside. And it will crumble. Because it represents the ego. The selfishness, you see. So there we are. And it's all, there is no separate one here. It's to benefit all. So this benefits the planet. The fresh water now can be left alone. No more companies at all using chemical treatments for the sewerage. So what was shown here, which I'm sure they also have, is that in rural areas you have septic tanks, just like you would filter your water. They have stones and they have gravel and they have finer stuff and they have whatever, I can't even remember. They throw a rat in there, if I remember right, that's right. They threw a dead rat in. It's a sealed unit. It's a septic tank. Anyone that has any sort of engineering will know this. So you build this huge black pit in the ground, layer it with those walls, whatever else, so it seeps through. So basically what it does, and then they throw, at the end of it, it's sealed, and they throw a dead rat. The rat is the live thing to start the bacteria. It's like I know it doesn't sound pleasant, but anyway, this one happened to be building one once. Done some funny things in its life, apparently. So you threw these things into it, and then it's closed, and that bacteria then eats away. It starts this ferment process, which I suppose starts eating away the feces, the actual shit. Sorry, I don't want, we can be polite. Feces, shit, whatever you want to say, it's irrelevant. Same thing. It's a word. It's just a pretty word for it. So there we are, and then it filters back into the ground. So what actually gets absorbed by the ground is pure water. And then they can, because we have the technology as well to use, so what they call black water, right? Septic, on a big scale, septic tanks, using bacteria and stuff to break it down. So there's no more chemicals at all by these companies polluting. So it won't go, and no more pollution goes back into the water stream or the earth. No more trying to treat the sewage with other nonsense. Septic tank systems using natural bacteria and whatever else. Let it sift back into the land. Other stuff they can be used, because they have the technology too, to use the feces for fertilizing. That's also another option, which the farmers do here with the cows. Plenty of it. So there's the one. No more chemicals at all going into water. Obviously, the only ones that will get through these people's systems themselves, which will be filtered out when they take pharmaceuticals, but that's also going away. So people will be less doing anything like that anyway. So there's no more chemical treatment of sewage now. All your water is coming from the ocean. 100% all your water comes from the ocean. Hi. It's the same one. It just has its own expression. As that body here, there's no different one to you. This is what I'm saying. This separation is an illusion. It's a complete illusion. So here we are. I think this is where the ego is being exposed. It is being exposed, and this is what it's exposing now. It's way, it's selfishness. It's separate ideas. You see, it's all about. This is what companies and corporations really are. It's the height of an ego, of the self-centered, and not taking its hiding behind a name on a piece of paper, and then anyway, and not for it's not at the benefit of all. Few profits go to a few, and it does not benefit anyone. This has been going on way too much. So this whole corporation structure is definitely egoic, a very egoic structure, non-awakened structure, and it's not benefiting the planet and the so-called patent story as well. So remove those patents. They have them there. Plenty people, more than one people have actually, in one country as well, have come up with very efficient desalination. We have the technology to do it on a mass scale now. Absolutely, to supply planetary water. So there's your solution problem sorted out. Your grey water, everybody knows, already got the solution. It's so simple. The same thing. That can be filtered very similar ways you would filter water, as I say, like a septic tank too. That can be used as well, even for irrigation, if they want to. Or let it sink back into the ground. Same thing. It can go back into the ground, but through a natural system that will clean it. So the septic can be done, the black water can be done in a septic system kind of thing, like a septic tank system. Anything. And then same with the grey, to be cleaned out, and it will replenish the water that's been used by all the boreholes, that's emptied the underground aquifers, you see. That's what they've been doing. They've been mining and tapping into the underground lakes and rivers, which are the backup. So the planet has plenty of time to restore herself. 100 years or more, all your rivers will grow in volume, because if you look at the banks, you can see how huge they were. Originally, the rivers were huge. But so much of the forestation and things, and obviously plants and trees have absorbed all those waters. They are nothing like they were. There's no such thing as age. That's an illusion too. In the story, the body has an age, parent age. But if you see when you die, you're not even born. There's no one that's ever born. Sorry, that's quite amusing actually. No one's born. That's not how the dream works. You think it's also a story. So there we are. Desalination, septic system for your and they have the technology, and we have all the so-called sustainable permaculture, but plenty of it out there. So many good ideas. There's your black water sorted out. Your grey water needs to be on a similar system like you do. You know how to do it in layers of rock stones. Let the water filter through and replenish the aquifers, the underground things in your country. You can use as much seawater, because you're going to have rising sea levels, as you want to now green your deserts, grow crops, do whatever. There's a complete illusion, it is delusional, that there's a water shortage. We have a shortage of fresh water on the planet. Oh my goodness, you have to be kidding me. So there we are. That's the ego, unless it's in a consciousness level that it just can't see out of its own mind. It replays the same stories. That's what it is. It's mind. It's just thoughts that stay in a loop. It could be that. I don't know. Anyway, this is just what was shared here. And the body is quite blunt. It's not been, it's just says it as it is, this body. I'm afraid it is quite, when it comes to it, it kind of sort of just calls a cat a cat. So there we are. Maybe that's why. So it's saying it as it is, which is true. It's as it was seen. This is really what's been happening on the planet. These corporations became a big thing, so-called under the skies of capitalism, but it was an excuse. It's greed. So we formed corporations and companies which do not exist. They are fake entities on a piece of paper. People have been hiding behind way too long and profiting off everybody and claiming innocence and blaming the employees of the company, which they own in paper, you see. So we do away with this. There's no people to hide behind then. You understand? Now, the business belongs to who it actually belongs to. This body, those bodies, and those bodies, it's their business. They are responsible for their business. And there's no need anyway for this one profit. This is what all humanity need. Everything on earth needs drinking water. And this will solve all your problems. So there's no excuse there. It's done. And you're going to also get salt, even if you have 1%. You know, I know in the old days, I remember in Hungary, they had some guy I met that had done a good one in a different system using I can't remember, electricity in some way. But that was 70% water, 30% salt. Now they have got much better technology. And with consciousness, those downloads are coming in anyway. They will have the solutions offered. So here we are. It's put out there now. There's no excuse. We won't have a problem. We don't have any shortage of water. That's an illusion, as I say. We've got to stop this fake story, fake entities making problems so they can benefit off. And when you've got real life, this is not a piece of paper in a law room with a name on it. People with actual bodies, and animals need the water, the plants. And we can, as I say, we can regrow this planet. I mean, you can grow the deserts. You've got so much water. The oceans, which is rising. So there's your combat. Combats your rising sea levels, gives you unlimited water. And there's no more dumping and treating any sewage with chemicals. All done on a natural, biological, filtered way, like septic tank systems. Same with the grey water. The company thing has been shared now about the comparison here, you see, of the fake ego. The companies represent the ego, the fake person, fake persona, fake entity, a separate entity from the world and the planet and everything else. There's bodies running around. There's no separate, So there we are. That will also get rid of this patent thing, you see, which is a self-centered thing. Some is there because they had the idea. But then it's your name and your friends, you see, and same with the shareholders, the people, the employees, you see, they work for you. Then you're not going to be inclined to mistreat. Well, it's consciousness, obviously, so I'm saying it's the ego. It says this represents the ego. You're not going to pay them the least wages. You're going to include your workers. They are working. You are all building the business, putting the time in, doing the work. Shareholders, they share the business. They share the profits, everything. You see. So maybe they can sort it out with the inventor. But it will go with consciousness. Because you see, when the fake entity dissolves, which it is already, there's not going to be the thing that you're going to want more than the other, because there is no other. This is why I say it will collapse on its own. This fake corporation story will fall flat on its face under the guise of capitalism, whatever they've called it. I can't remember. That was a good excuse. So where a few can take all the resources and things from the rest to make great wealth, and impoverish and starve and whatever. So there's no shortage of water, no, which is obvious because you're on a planet which is 70% water. There's no need to mine. You see, we make now, it's because it benefits a few, to go and mine underground water. Oh, we found underground water. We want to now get a mining right. You see, so I can profit. My business can mine, and I'm going to have charge for the water more because it's. So there's no need to mine. No need to drain any more because it will collapse. What they're not thinking of as well is when you pull out the underground water, like California, it's sinking already. California is every few centimeters every year. You can collapse, the ground can fall in on you because now you've created a cavity. You've had this big, you suck all the underground lake or the underground water out, and you've caused a vacuum, an empty pocket on the planet, which weight can cave in. Like you have sinkholes, you can end up with a problem, like they've done with mining. This way, there is no excuse to tap the freshwater reservoirs. Now they can be replenished. There's no need for mining, no need for digging water, drilling for water, doing this when you're sitting on a planet which is 70% water. And you can desalinate it very easily, which you have the things, which have been patented by many. Okay, so there's your solution, okay? Is to be honest and stop. We got to see which people are. This is what I'm saying. There are no fake entities. And how can you have a piece of paper, so-called name of a company, which has the same rights as a human being when it doesn't exist? It's not real. There's no real person there. A company is given the same rights as a human, as a person, a living, say, they called a person, a living body, a man, right? A corporation should not have the same rights because there are real people hiding behind that. You see. And then they won't also, you see, then when you're in the public and you can't hide behind a company name, you are less inclined then to, I'm going to, I just feel like charging you so many millions for, you see, because your face is known. There's no more hiding in the background behind lawyers and behind people and behind employees, so thing. But it will come, it will collapse. So the fake entity, this is a big, But when you're in that consciousness, you don't want, you're denying even yourself. You're not even aware of yourself. You're denying your own reflection. It's all about, as I say, it's in your shadow and denying the truth, really. So there we are. That's why, as I said, they will collapse anyway, these corporations, the whole structure of it, because as you wake up, you have no inclination to the selfish side as the ego dissolves. This thing about me, myself, I dissolves with it. And then everything dissolves. And oh my gosh, there was never anybody. Yeah. All of it. You are the planet. You are everything. Literally. That's why you can't separate yourself from this reality. Try and leave the reality. You leave the body and then you'll realize, oh. Yeah. You'll see. And you'll just come back anyway, because as I say, when you don't know what you are, you'll just come back in another body. That's what you do to yourself. There we are. It's called consciousness. You can't get away from yourself. Unfortunately, you discover that one. If you try, you'll discover that. So there we are, people. There's no shortage of water on this planet. There's no need for mining. There's no excuse. The rivers can now be left alone to completely fill up again because they're very low. All our underground aquifers and lakes and dams and so-called things can be completely filled again. Animals can enjoy it. And we have salt water out oceans, out our yin-yang too. Because as they're rising, you can pump away all you want and plant the deserts, do whatever, grow as many crops, water your garden every night, whatever. All right. And no more minings, no more nonsense, and no more chemicals needed whatsoever. And it's free salt. This is great for, and possibly if they want, as well, they can come up with some solution for some of the black water as well. Some of it can be used for fertilizing, the rest gets the septic treatment back into fresh water. The earth, cleanses it and absorbs it again. All right. Who knows? That just wanted to be shared. I don't think there's anything else, but that whole thing came through again. It's, you see, nothing gets hidden. If it comes through here, all are becoming aware of the distortions out there and the, you know, nonsense, as they say. They make it, brings it into conscious awareness. This is why corporations and all the other things that are, they're being brought up to people's thing to show you the in unfairness, how the ego, as I say, it's just represents the ego. It's not person. It's a fake entity. That's how it operates. The mind, it's because it believes it's a separate thing. It's thoughts. Believes it's a person and everything is real. So it's just about me. It's very self-centered, extremely self-centered energy, because it believes it is a real person and it's all about what can I get for myself. But it will discover that's not. Yeah. Anyway, that's coming to an end. All right. So there we are. We have got 2 problems solved. Well, there's never problems, as I say. They're just manufactured as mind. It's illusions created. There's no problem. You have rising sea levels? No problem. Desalinate it as much as you want. So as it comes up, you're going to be sucking it out. You know, you can use, there's no worrying about, oh my gosh, we have to watch. You're going to want to use a lot of water because you don't want the sea levels rising. You see? Well, they're going to, as I say, there's a reason why this is happening. It's a earth, she's cleansing and recycling, and she's trying to replenish her water. So we definitely don't need any more people trying to mine underground water, fresh water lakes they found under the sea. Now you see. So I'm saying, oh, look, we found huge underground water, another under the sea, freshwater lakes. When you suck it all out, something has to go in there or it'll collapse. There's no need for fresh water when you have desalination and rising sea levels. You have instant oceans everywhere. So there we are. All right. I think that we'll see that happening. As they fear, as I say, as the levels rise up, first of all, this can combat the rising sea levels minorly, and there's never a shortage, and there's no need to go and mine and bomb and collapse anymore, cause any more sinkholes and destruction. We can let nature refill its own fresh land. The land will replenish the rain natural, or replenish its oceans and underground aquifers and dams, and there'll be no shortage. We don't need to fight this as the ego and go to war and try and bid or claim or buy another person's country or go to war with them because we want their water. When you are sitting surrounded by oceans that are rising, which you are worrying about, we're going to run away. You see, this is the mind. It's in a delusion. But it's sitting on a planet which is all water. There we are. Okay. And the technology is there, available, already invented to solve all the problems. There's no actual problem, you see. This is probably what was being exposed. There isn't a problem. You have oceans of water. And there we are. All right. You just have a structural problem of fake entities, egos and corporations trying to look for ways to profit over others, believing they are separate people in separate bodies. And you see, because they are being pushed by people who are hiding behind them. It's not the actual, normally the managers or the director or so, it's the people hiding behind them, because you've allowed these fake entities, the invention of these fake corporations, which then can conceal the actual people that are profiting, the shareholders and stakeholders, and from liability. You see, this is actually what it is about. That's why you have corporation laws, so they cannot be liable for their behavior. That's what needs to be changed. Do away with your corporations. You will not have any problems then of corruption and hiding from liability, and then incentive to do things like that. You see, because you will be held responsible. It is you, the person with the living entity, that is going to be the one who steps forward. You got to run that business. No hiring people, do you see? Anyway, there we are. All right, there we are. It will come out, as I say. These are all it will be exposed. Everything will be exposed because it's the ego. The self is exposing the ego. And same thing. So as within, let's say in the fourth, let's say, at the moment we're showing this grid, the planet in the story. This is what's happening, you see. So it's exposing, it's a reflection. As they see, my battery's flat. I didn't realize I hadn't put the thing on. There we are. It's on now, I think. Yes, I think so. Yes. Hope so, otherwise we're going to be cut off anyway. All right, people, there we are. That's just what came out, what came down the other day, and it was hanging there. You were aware of it, but it wasn't like you were kind of, you know these things, you see. You know it's a story, but who knows, it's going to come out, and that's what this body was made aware of. And that, as I say, it is very simple. It's very simple to solve. There really isn't a problem. That's a delusion of the ego. It's the mind. Delusional, it's a state of consciousness. It's in a lower consciousness. Denial, delusion, whatever it is, who knows. But there isn't any problem. Really, there isn't. There's no excuse to say there's a problem. There's no reason to say we have a shortage of water. There's no reason to say any of these things when there isn't. When you have the solution there. It's the willingness, you see, to oh, well, I'm going to have to, you see, that means I'm not going to. When I've got my share in the government and in all the companies, I'm not going to want to do anything about it, you see. But now this prevents anyone from hiding behind it. If you do away with this corporation story, no one can hide behind it. And it's time now, as I say, for things that don't benefit living beings, real live life, human beings, things that have moved, that have life, that have flesh, right? Well, parent life here. Water, oceans, fish, people, trees, all of this. This is for all of it. It's not just for a few people. See, there we are. So it's time to stop this patent story, how these whole structures actually say, this whole corporation thing is at the root of it, because it's allowing people to hide behind these things. Egos, and and then to go to sleep at night because, well, you see, I'm not actually doing it, so I can pretend I don't know. This is what they're saying. This is what we call a sleep, the consciousness. It's a reflection, seriously. So I go to bed, and the director, I don't know what he's doing every day, we just hired him and he's running the business, but he still gets and their board meetings directive, how much money and profit, you see. So we can go to sleep at night, and I don't actually do anything, and I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I'm just a shareholder. I got out my shares, but who's the structure of the company? This unconscious behavior is real denial of shadow and illusion, is where I can go to sleep at night, take all the profit, knowing there's patents but I didn't actually, I'm not doing anything wrong. It's the ego, it's the unconscious, it reflects denying what it is and itself and its any knowledge of itself or what it's doing, you see. Completely. It's like, but and then there we are, and oh sorry, and just now we'll have to bail you out, you see. So this it is a delusional denial, and it is a complete fake thing. That's what I'm saying. You've created fake entities which represent exactly the fakeness of the separate self. It's a mirror reflection of the unconscious ego's behavior. It's at its height of separation and denial, delusion, and whatever. And it's very self-centered. All right. So much love. I don't think there was anything else that came through that it wanted to share. Obviously, just normal things, but you can see the reflection. It's so obvious, and this is why the height of the ego, of the unconscious behavior, of the delusion, of the nastiness, whatever, came this funding a few years ago of so-called corporations and whatever you want to call our GDP, gross consumerism. Let's make let's start a whole new economy based on removing your wages from inflation, and let's mean the country that sells and makes the most goods and sells the most goods has the highest GDP. That's what I'm saying. It's actually, if you, when you get to, you can laugh, because it's the self. You can laugh and you can see it, but you're able to see its behavior and its whole thing so clearly. But when you're in it, as I'm saying, you're in such thick density and denial and delusion. You're not aware of its behavior. It's completely in denial of its behavior. But it's so obvious when you see it, and you see how it does and how it tries to wiggle out and makes all these, like that. This is what I'm saying. At the height of its distortion, the ego formed the massive corporations and privatization, and we're going to base our economy on as much stuff as we can consume and sell. Obviously, the poor countries are not going to, because we haven't given them infrastructure. So, of course, we're going to make more money and have bigger GDPs because we already have the infrastructure and the stuff to make the things and sell them using their labor. You see, you understand how it's using it. The fake entity which doesn't exist is using real bodies. Can you understand the reflection here? Real living beings, people, to satisfy itself, its desires, its needs, what I want, all about me, you see, what I can get. You see very clearly the reflection of the ego, because there is no ego. There's a real, in the story, there's real bodies, real people, right, that lives, feels, eats. This is it. There's no corporations that really exist, or so-called companies. There's real people, real bodies that exist. The mind, which is only made up of thoughts, is the fake ego. It's purely accumulation of thoughts. There's no real separate entity there. There's no separate entity living in your mind. They're thoughts, which people are taking literally to be the self. The body is definitely not even saying those thoughts. If you paid attention to it, you would know it's not the body, because it talks about the body as though it's a separate thing. So, the fake entity is an illusory ego that doesn't exist. It is accumulated of thoughts. And you can see its behavior and its reflection. That's why I say in the height of it's now going to crumble. Its greed and its selfishness formed this so-called capitalistic great corporation, mega corporations, whatever, as much as I could buy, the biggest, and it was a competition, who's got the biggest yacht, Sorry. But it's going to laugh. It's only itself. It laughs at itself. It's what I'm saying. It's the height of polarity, the height of its, wow. But it's very, very clear. Anyway, when you see it and understand it, it's so clear. But it's the self, as I'm saying. It's just any delusion. But its delusions are so clear. Wow, amazing. All right. And it completely falls for its own, because I'm saying, because if you believe the thoughts, of course you're listening to them and you think whatever it says is actually you, and you're taking instructions from this thoughts, which are just a pattern of repeated behaviors and patterns which have kept being dreamt, and you just take another body and dream the same nonsense, and it's the same stories that come up in a different body and with the same whatever it didn't overcome. So these are just patterns, and they're so transparent when you see it. If you watch how the banking system, those that have run, you can see them repeating the same behaviors, economic system, the same. It's just loops. It's loops of thoughts, which those bodies have been playing and playing and replaying, body after body, until it actually, which is now the Great Awakening, it can wake up to its distortions and delusions and delete them. And each body has different ones. The families, the ruling families look at their history, wow, huge in the story. Shadows to sort out. There we are. Just a story, which nothing happened. It's all going to wake up and laugh, because there isn't any separate one. This is the fact. It's the stories that it's repeating are completely non-true, non-existent. They never happened either. There's only ever been one. There's only the source here. It's told itself, as I'm saying. It's been telling itself stories for a long time, and those are the stories that are dissolving now. It's trying to find another avenue out. All right. So much love, so don't worry. The solution, especially when the real bodies realize they're going to have a problem, they're going to do something. You see, it will be sorted out, because it's for the highest good for all. So now there's no shortage of any water. So simple to solve. No need to go looking and fighting and digging and mining and drilling and all kinds of nonsense. We actually have the waters, the systems already there, structures to pipe the water. It's just now getting the massive desalination plants all along the oceans, and there we are, connecting them up to the existing system of pipes, and off you go, and you can pump till your heart's content. You're not going to be drilling and harming the planet at all. There's no mining, no drilling, no poisoning, no any nonsense, any violence needed. And the land water can completely be left alone to replenish its underground and rivers and dams and lakes, and we'll have deserts that are blooming and gardens, everyone can plant and grow till their heart's content. All right. So much love. Bye.